Okay, second time lucky. My microphone's run out of battery, and of course I want you to hear what I'm saying, so I don't know when it cut off. So I'm just going to start again with the prayers that this microphone is enough. So, hello, I hope you're well. If you're watching on a replay, please comment replay. I am Mel M. Rubin. You're here, so you must know me. And if you've just joined and you're starting to get to know me, welcome, welcome, welcome into my world. I'm so grateful that you're here. And yeah, I endeavour to support you in every which way that I can in respects to your liberation and conscious life creation, in creating everything in your life that you desire, because you can have everything that you desire in your life. Everything that you see in your mind's eye and feel in your heart has been planted there for you, because you can be it, you can do it, you can have it. So if you've been here and if you've been watching, you have noticed that I recently started Your Sacred Spiral, which is a weekly group interactive call in which we all come together wherever we're at. Can't speak properly. You get to come as you are, and you get to leave more of yourself because of the space that is being created through these calls. So it's when I show up every week for you in sacred service. There's no expectation from you in respects to giving me anything in that sense. Just show up for yourself. And if at any point you want to give me a cookie, you are so very welcome. There's a link in my bio for that. However, that's not what this space is for. This space is for me to come together with you to connect as we are, where we're at, whether that be in the highs or in the lows or in the in-betweens. Then we're there to support each other. And it's not just a space for me to support the collective, it's also a space for the collective to support the collective, and you to support me as well. We're all in this together and we all rise together. So I started this last Sunday, not Sunday just gone, but Sunday before. And because it was very landed in on the Saturday, this is what we're doing, I'm like, okay, Sunday go. There wasn't really much warning, should we say. So it was just me on the call, which I was very happy with. I gave a bit more of a backstory into my story and me and the mission and what I'm doing with the wealth frequency shift, paired with the generational wealth building career plan that we have with Anagic. And if you don't know what Anagic is, they are a 52-year-old Japanese company that create the best water technology in the world. And we are water, and health is wealth, and wealth is water, and we are water, and it's just all so phenomenal what we get to create together within conscious community as we rise together. So I went into that on the first iteration and shared whatever was alive. And this Sunday gone, I did show up, but no one showed up for the call. And the point that I was at, I was very deep in a process after literally just getting off of a call with a family member who violently, verbally attacked me. I can only describe it as absolute poison and toxicity and hatred. And it was very confusing for me, because I know that this family member loves me very, very deeply. However, as I'm sure you understand, toxicity and trauma is normalized within our society, and there are many of us that are experiencing various different toxic familial cycles that you're here with me now, so likely you're the one to break it. So me, in my family, I'm the one to break it. Yay, so much fun. And off of the back of that, I've been through a very, very deep process since Sunday. And because I was in that process on Sunday and no one showed up for the call, for me to be there for them and be there for me, be there for the guidance that's come through, I honoured the process that I was in, and I ended up having a bath, and off of the back of that had a very, very deep emotional release that I can only describe as being very similar to an ayahuasca ceremony. I have never had a release that deep whilst I wasn't on plant medicine, and it was phenomenal, but it was also a lot, to the point where I was puking and retching for an hour, and I had nothing in me except for water and snot, and then nothing. It was just purging out of the depths of my stomach and my sacral, and I was shivering from the inside out even when it wasn't cold, and I had a huge headache and I was aching everywhere, and it took me a very long time to get to sleep. And on Monday I ended up using that day in sacred solitude to rest and recoup for myself and to bring myself up in that, whilst reparenting and being there for myself in the way that I needed, and holding myself and giving myself what it is that I wanted and needed to be comfortable. And then on the Tuesday and the Wednesday was more so the processing as the emotions cleared. And because of everything that happened, I came to the decision, everything that happened and everything that was said, amidst me doing my best to show up in my power, share where I'm at, and I wasn't disrespectful. The only point that I was when I was shouting because this person would not hear me, would not see me, and especially after the barrage of poison that was thrown at me, the only way for this family member to hear me was for me to raise up and meet them in the midst of it all. And I'm not proud of myself, and this is something for me to take away and to refine for myself, because I haven't reacted, because that was a reaction, that wasn't a response. I haven't reacted that way in over 6 years. And I've done my very best to eradicate all toxicity from my life in every single area, starting with myself. And this was a beautiful reflection as to where I still have work to do when it comes to the activations that my family present to me in respects to me and my story and my journey and my power and my being, which I'm very, very grateful for. And it's taken me some time to process, and also for the clarity to land to the point of, this is what I'm here to share. And up until maybe 2023, 2024, I was very open about sharing my journey and sharing my story in whatever was happening relationally or within my business, because this is where my growth happens. This is where the majority of our growth happens, is through relation. And I was very open about sharing all of that and sharing my process. And this was when I had a really great community, and I was really deeply in my leadership there. And then I ended up going in my cave for self-protection and also personal refinements with myself and my business, that I stopped sharing my story, because that was a time for my own sacred solitude to really come to an understanding and to better myself as well. Because when I did used to share my story years ago, it was also coming from a lens of aggression and passive aggression as well. And you know, I'm well within my right to share my story. I'm well within my right to share my experience. However, what's not okay is when it's passive aggressive, when it's unhealthy, and also a little bit toxic through the passive aggression, you know, and that's not okay. Everyone in my story, in our story, deserves honour and respect and kindness and love, with the remembrance that what we give, we receive back. And I certainly know that I only want to receive love and nourishment and support and honour and all of the good things. So it's been a journey for me to eradicate all of this and also get myself out of this victim consciousness as well in various different areas of my life. So I took the time for about 2 years to really go deeper within myself and get to know myself amidst various different lessons through my leadership and through an intimate relation that also presented a very clear mirror of where I got to strengthen myself. And now I'm at a stage in my journey where the familial shit's coming up, and the familial stuff has been there lingering for years. I haven't felt, seen, heard, acknowledged, appreciated or valued pretty much the whole of my life, if I'm completely honest with you. But especially since I really started to follow my dreams and come to Bali, and I was sharing about the pandemic and warning them about the jab, and I wasn't taken seriously, I was laughed at, and then throughout the process I've not been taken seriously in my business at various different areas. My mum's had the water machine in her home since I've been here in Bali. She hasn't installed it. You know, it's various different things like that where it's like, oh, okay. And it's been a lot for me, but I've kept going, and I've not said anything, in the understanding that people are where they are. And that's what it is. People are where they are. I am where I am. And the more I've understood my darkness and my pain and my trauma, and the more I've refined myself and lowered my ego and come to my heart, the more it's enabled me to understand other people and where they're coming from. Because once upon a time, I was that. Once upon a time, I came from that. And I don't want that anymore. So it's up to me to set the bar, raise the standards, honour my boundaries, and also to do it in a way that's loving and compassionate and understanding, and in full honour of the roles and the parts that everyone in my journey has played to get me here to the woman that I am today, especially the ones that have caused me deep pain, heartbreak, betrayal, trauma, in any area of my life. So now I'm at a stage in my journey where I have been pushed to the edge so much that it's got to a point where I've been looking at my business journey and how it's not been moving in the way that I've desired outwardly. It's been moving amazingly inwardly and in the background and the processes, because I've been refining the foundations and the system that I've built, and I've also been refining myself into the woman that I am today. However, outwardly it's not been evolving in the way that I've desired. So of course we zoom out and look at the issue, because I know what I'm fucking doing. I've done it before. Just for some reason there's been a block, right? And I came to the realization that the block is I haven't been sharing me and my heart and my story. Yes, I've been sharing what I've been learning, but people and you and everyone, they're not going to be able to connect to me if they don't know where I'm coming from, if they don't know what I've experienced, if they don't know the ins and outs of it, you know? And through this reflection and through the refinements of myself and the understanding of what I want in my life and how I want things to move, and especially over the last 2 years, the journey that I've been on to land deeper into my heart and to further master my communication in a way that is able to land in the best way that it can possibly land. And I know none of us are perfect. I'm not perfect all of the time, however I do my best to articulate and deliver what I want to say in the best way possible, that's full of love and kindness and compassion and understanding, eradicating all toxicity out of it. So I came to the realisation that I must share my story more, and since I started to share my story more a couple of months ago, magic has started to really beautifully happen, because this is where the magic is for me personally. And I believe the magic is in it for all of us to share our story, because our story is where our power is. And the most powerful weapon that we have is our voice. So when we start to share our story, we start to really uncover various different layers of our power because of the clarity that we gain around sharing our story, and also the release that happens of shame and guilt and judgment and sadness and whatever comes up. When we release those emotions through sharing our voice and through sharing our story, the clarity comes as to, oh, okay, that had to happen this way. That had to happen this way. This is fucking amazing. And this is what's been happening for me over the last couple of months as I have been sharing my story even more. And yeah, I'm at this place now where since Sunday when I blocked my whole family on social media, and then Monday when I blocked another family member on social media because of the sheer disrespect that I was receiving and the fact that it's none of your business. Don't get yourself involved in something that quite frankly has nothing to do with you. So I just blocked I don't need to explain anything. It's like, okay, I love you. I know that there's going to be a reconnection at one point, but this is not the time at all. People really must stay in their own lane. They really must. All of us, every single one of us, just focus on ourselves, focus on our vision. Send a prayer to the broken. I love this song. So they know not what they do, for they know not what they do. Just find a way to open to the love inside of you. Let's send a prayer to the children. Let's keep them pure and true. I love this song so much. Rob Record in the house. Pray to the water. Mother? Waters, keep them clean and blue. Okay, I'm going to carry on. Right, sorry. I love this song so much. Angel in Disguise by Rob Record. Go check it out. It's one of my faves. So, yeah, it's really important that we stay in our own lane, that we work on ourselves, that we come to an understanding of what it is that we want, work towards it, and through going towards what it is that we want, that's when different layers uncover, and ultimately, eventually, we end up coming back to our purpose and what the fuck we came here. This was the journey for me. I started for freedom, and then I was like, oh, this is what I can create. Oh, wow, wow, wow. And then when proof landed of how fucking powerful I am in the creation of my own reality, then it just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And if I can do it, you can do it too. So I just teach it because we can have it all. This world's abundant. So this is what we must be doing. We don't want to be fucking focusing on the only reason people and gossip and is because they're not happy in themselves and they feel inadequate and insecure and they're not looking after themselves. They're not living a life that they want. So they want to make themselves feel better. I haven't got time for it. I haven't got time for it, and no, I'm definitely not fucking accepting it from my family. I'm not accepting it from anyone. I don't fucking give a shit. I don't give a shit. So, since I blocked them, I feel so much better in myself and in my power, and my energy is not leaking, because I'm sure a part of it was just wanting them to see me and to appreciate how far I've come. And after this phone call that I had on Sunday, that ignited it. Thank you, Blue Moon, for illuminating this next level that gets to be healed. They don't appreciate the woman that I've become in this 9-year process. They can't even see me. They can't even see me because I don't yet meet up to their financial standards in where I should be because of how long I've been on my journey. It's like, come on, you're not even looking at the whole journey. You're not even looking at me. You don't even understand me. You don't even understand my whole journey. You haven't even asked questions. You're just projecting and based off of your lens of limitations, judgments, insecurities, and fear. And I'm not absorbing that for years. For years, I absorbed and internalized other people's projections that, no, not anymore. Not anymore. Not anymore. So, yeah, it's been a lot. It's really been a lot. And, you know, that was that came from a really passionate place then in what I shared. And it's important to know that I have so much love for my family. If it wasn't for my family, I would not be the woman that I am today. I would not be where I am today. I have received so much support from them when it comes to my physical safety and security. And I cannot be more grateful than I am right now. However, what's not okay is me not receiving the emotional support, me not being seen, me not being heard, them not even caring to ask me what's going on and what I'm building. This person that I spoke to on Sunday couldn't even tell me what I'm doing. Following me for 9 years, following my journey, watching me every single day for 9 years, seeing all of my posts, me telling them on the phone what it is that I'm doing. I've told them what I'm building, shared my heart, still couldn't tell me what I'm doing because they don't understand. They just think I'm selling water machines. And no one's going to buy a water machine because no one can afford it. Just because you don't prioritise your health doesn't mean other people don't. So understand that I've fucking been through it with my family to the point where I've just let it slide. I've just ignored it. I'm not gonna. But there comes a point where we have to stand up for ourselves and we have to say no. I'm not allowing that into my field. No. And I have, yes, said certain things, but this next level of blocking had to happen for my own power. And it's heartbreaking, and there's conversations that are currently happening in the background so we can get on a beautiful playing field, because of course I want a relationship with them, of course I want to include them in what I'm doing. However, if they don't care to understand, and if they want to mech behind them, because I know that that's what's been happening, I had a nice verbal reflection of what they all think of me and what I've been doing because of their lack of understanding, because of the lack of them asking me questions and getting to know me. They've been talking between themselves and they've made up all of these stories. And intuitively I've known for years how they think of me, but it's not been said. And I actually left my family group chat a few months ago because of how unseen and unacknowledged I felt. So that was the first part, and no one even said anything to me. They didn't even say anything. They're probably like speak between themselves, but whatever. Anyway, it was confirmed to me what they actually think because this person said it. So I'm like, okay, this is great. At least I know. At least I know consciously now. I've known intuitively, but at least I know consciously now. And then it's like, all right, well, you've had a window into my life for 9 years, and you've had connection with me too, where I've been telling you, and you still don't understand, and you still don't get it, and you haven't tried. So here's my boundary here, and it is a lot. It's a lot emotionally for me. It's a lot for my inner child, but then at the same time, it's also really fucking empowering and liberating, because it's like, girl, you've got your back, man. And this is the next layer of me having my back. And throughout the whole 9-year process that I've been on, my leadership, I've had my back in respects to reclaiming my worth and my value. I've been hugely extracted from people in my organisation that I used to work with because of how much I gave. I gave so much away for free in respects to this work that we're doing together. It's so much more than business. This is deep personal healing that ultimately leads to deep familial and ancestral healing. And yeah, heartbreak through that and reclaiming my power and my worth and my value through that and also reclaiming my power and my worth and my value in intimate relation, where I've also been extracted from and not appreciated and undervalued. And it's all been a really beautiful reflection of where I haven't been giving it to myself. That's all it is. And this is why we don't want to disrespect or dishonour anyone who has presented these reflections to us. Yes, we call it out. We call out the disrespect. We call out where they're operating from. We let them know in a kind, loving and respectful way, which is currently the process that I'm going through. And also, when we're sharing our story, this allows other people to connect to us, because we're all going through it in our own unique way, just in a different flavour. And it's really important that we remember that we're not alone in this. We have each other. Community is the new currency. And something landed for me earlier as I was making my matcha. The narrative, I love zooming out and looking at things. It's where my magic lies, is really being able to zoom out and look at all of the perspectives and what's going on. And as you may know by now, I'm not into the system at all. I do not endorse it. I have been and continue to do everything that I can to completely distance myself from it. And just thinking about the way that our society is set up, they have promoted nuclear families, and we've been programmed in a way where blood is thicker than water, and to be so loyal to our family and to allow toxic and normalized and accepted toxicity and trauma to run through our family without saying anything. And we've been conditioned as well to not use our voice, and we've been made to feel insignificant, and communities have been essentially, they've done everything to eradicate communities and eradicate the sacred knowledge of the indigenous. And there's various different layers and aspects here. However, the point that I'm getting at is we have been made to, blood is thicker than water, but then we're sticking with our family and we're so loyal to our family. Yeah, especially as light workers, which you are because you're listening to me, we don't feel seen, heard, and what? We're accepting that. We're accepting this toxicity. We're accepting this trauma. How is this going to create a better future for our children? That's the first thing that's on my mind, is my children. Yes, I'm doing this for my family, but the most important family that I'm doing this for is for my children. Yes, I'm doing it for the ones that I have right now, but they're not gonna absorb it or embody it or integrate it unless first and foremost I do it and I'm a living example. And secondly, they're on their own journey. They are where they are. I can't change them. I can't tell them what to do. Trust me, I've fucking tried. It doesn't work. So just lead by example and set boundaries and cut access and continue to build my best life. And if you want access, then you respect me and you stay in your own lane. And I've stayed in this unhealthy dynamic. I've chosen to stay in this unhealthy dynamic because they have been so supportive for me in respect to my physical safety. And there's been a lot of shame for me around that as well, that I've had to work through. And now it's like, there's only so much you can take, that it's like, no. And through me choosing to be that way, I've ultimately allowed my power to leak, which I know has played a part in causing the stagnancy the stagnancy in the money flow from my business, right? So it all makes sense and it's all perfect, and I'm all so very, very grateful for it. And now it's like, okay, yeah, we're closing off those leaks, we're raising our standards, setting our boundaries even higher, and ensuring that I'm in a place where I feel seen and I feel heard, that communicated in a really beautiful, heart-centered, loving way where everyone is honoured. And, you know, maybe there's been points in this particular transmission and share that could have been refined. I'm still working through how I want to communicate all of this, and this is part of my own process. I feel like I've done pretty well, but there have been points of passion that may get to be reviewed in my instance, and I know that the more I write about this and the more that I share, it will even out. But essentially, yeah, that's where I'm at, fam. I went to the beach yesterday, and I had a huge nervous system release. My heart was like, for hours. I was sitting on the beach for hours, my heart, and I'm grounding and I'm doing the things and I'm breathing, and I went to the tree, I went in the sea, and eventually it what's the word? It calmed down. And part of it as well, it's not just this, it's yes, reclaiming my power from these energy leaks that I've allowed through the familial ties that I've held on to, even though I felt disrespected, unseen, unheard, unappreciated. That confirmation for me was like, okay, yeah, no, we're not having this anymore. And it's scary in the sense of, like, I was told that I'm on my own, which, I mean, no one likes to be on their own. But then at the same time, I've been walking my journey on my own for 2 years in the ethereal, spiritual, internal. Haven't had any support with that at all. I've just been through it, and yeah, it's that was quite a blow to me. But at the same point, I know that I need it to move in the way that I came here to move, because I've been in my cave for 2 years because of the heartbreak that I received the last time my organisation broke down, when I reclaimed further worth and power in my work, because I chose to stop giving my work away for free. So through the last 2-year process, I've been in and out of community here, in my physical community, and I've been building connections, but I've also been largely protecting myself and still being hermity, which is not good for me as a it's not fucking good for anyone, but as a reflector, it's also not good for me, because we do thrive in really beautiful communities and connections, and this is how I get to know myself on a deeper level as well, is through connections. And that clarity drops through earlier. So I'm really being pushed to really own my role, which I knew back in 2023, but because of going off of my compass, because of various different protection mechanisms and energy leaks, I held myself back. And also because I didn't feel like the collective were necessarily ready, and I wasn't ready. I'm projecting out. I didn't feel like the collective was ready, because I also wasn't ready. I had to go through so many different realizations, reflections to anchor in as strong as I am now, and to become as unfuckwithable as I am now, to be able to show up in this way and effectively lead the movement that I know that I came here to lead. So that time was needed, and looking back on my journey, and I'll share more in writing, but it just all makes sense how it had to happen this way. And it's all been beautiful in the creation of me and also my success, especially the people that have really fucking poked the fire and hurt me in so many different ways. And it's the understanding that typically people are doing it unconsciously. And even if they're doing it unconsciously, even if they're doing it consciously, even if they're doing something consciously to hurt us, they're doing it from unresolved pain and trauma that's just leaking out. So the more we understand ourselves on that level, the easier it is for us to understand them, and also to honour them and where they're at, and pray for them from love. None of this, I'm better than you because I'm healed more and all of that. No, we've all got healing to do. We're no better than anyone. We're all the same. We're all in our own place. No one is better than anyone else. We're all trying to figure it out. And we're doing our best with the tools that we have, and the more tools and resources that we have, and the more open we are in our ears, in our eyes, in our hearts, the more we can grow and evolve and ascend. So the last 2 years have really been that for me, and as I was at the beach yesterday, part of the processing was letting go of these stories with my family, and really honouring myself in that sense. And then another part of it was inviting community to a community that I've created. So anyone that's in my physical community that I've met in person, because it's very, very, very important for me to curate spaces that are respectful, safe, honouring, kind, nourishing, all of the things. Because I've experienced the polar opposites, and that's not happening for me or for anyone that's in my space. That's why the only rule within my spaces is don't be a dick. And don't be a dick covers a lot of things, so discernment is key here. So yeah, I was doing game days last year, and that was a huge part of my healing and coming out of my cave and healing my witch wound and my sister wound, and sharing my medicine and magic without being persecuted and ostracised and people getting jealous and trying to tear me down. Yeah, I've experienced all of that. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't nice. So I created a community around those game days, and then I decided to shift that community to encompass all of my world. So I did that last week, and I've been called to invite new people to this group that I've met, and something was holding me back, and it's this fear of being seen, and it's this fear of showing up in this way, because the last time it happened, this happened, but it's letting go of these stories. And the way that we let go of these stories is first and foremost by doing the thing and showing up in the identity that we are called to show up in, even when it's scary as fuck, especially if it's scary as fuck. And also reminding our body and our nervous system that we are safe. So I'm sitting there on the beach. I knew that this was the next part of this process of mine, of fully reclaiming my power and the woman that I am, and why I came here, and the movement that I came here to build and to lead. And so I sent these invitation messages to people within my physical community, because this is a community that I'm building around my physical community. The wealth frequency shift, this group here, your sacred spiral, and also the wealth frequency shift ecosystem, those are my online communities. You are more than welcome to join. And when we meet in person, then of course you can join the calibration chamber in that sense. There's also the broadcast group on Instagram, that's for online as well. That's another iteration of the calibration chamber, but it's a baby version, should we say. And so I was sending these invites out, and as I was sending these invites out, my body's on high alert because of everything that and this is a part of the process. It's like, okay, I know my body's on high alert, but consciously I know I'm okay. And this is also really important for us to discern in various different aspects. For instance, a past experience where I had to speak up for myself. My body didn't feel okay, it didn't feel safe because of the internalized and held onto trauma that my body held onto from the past. But consciously I knew I was safe in speaking up for myself and my needs and what wasn't working for me in these close relationships that were affecting me emotionally, because I didn't like the way I was being spoken to, but they were doing it unconsciously. And consciously I knew that I was safe, but my body didn't know that I was safe. So it was like, but then when I actually pushed myself out of my comfort zone and spoke up for myself, it was okay, and it healed me in that sense, right? So this was what was happening yesterday. And I'm sending the messages, I'm just sending them, and it's taking me a lot. And this journey, this process is a lot. And this is why a lot of people don't walk this journey and they don't do it, because it's uncomfortable. However, on the other side of moving through these emotions that must be released from the body, on the other side is so much beauty, so much magic, so much space, so much love, so much nourishment, because you've first given it to yourself. You've given yourself the safety, you've given yourself the nourishment, and most importantly, you've devoted yourself to moving forward. And as you do that, life just continues to show up for you in all of the beautiful ways. So I did that, and yeah, beautiful response. So many amazing responses from my community, and 20 people joined just in the day, and I'm so grateful, and it's moving and grooving, and yeah, I'm really, really happy and grateful, and I'm so glad to be back in this role of sacred service, and also sharing my process and sharing my journey, and being able to do it in a way that is loving, respectful and honouring of the people who have played their parts and their roles in the creation of the woman that I am. Yeah. And if you feel like there's anything that I expressed in this transmission that wasn't, I would love to hear your perspective, to let me know. Because yeah, we can always get better, we can always review, we can always refine. So yeah, this is where I'm at, fam. This is where I'm at. We're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it. And yeah, that's all. Is there anything else I want to share? No. So your Sacred Spiral calls, they are every Sunday, 8 PM Bali time, on Zoom. If you haven't registered, I'm going to pop the link in the comments below so you can register. Any Sacred Spiral call that I do that's on my own, I'm going to put it on YouTube as well, just for the fact. But any ones that we're doing in a group, we're going to keep that and honour that sacredness in that container, and it's just going to stay in this group and on Zoom. I'm not going to put it on YouTube because I honour you and your journey. I'm happy to share me and my journey on YouTube, just me, so it's all good. Is there anything else? No. If you want to work with me, if you want to rise with me, then my inbox is open. You can go onto my Instagram to learn more about the different levels and different offerings that I have. Yeah, my flag is planted with a magic, because this is how we're moving towards generational wealth together as community, in a way where we get to honour every aspect of ourselves and our lives, and come back to true health and create true freedom in every area of our lives, as well as reclaim our sovereignty in every area of our lives. So I'm really, really passionate about sharing this water with people, because this water has been so fucking life-changing for me in all of the ways. That's for another video, but fuck. If you're a light worker, anyone, but especially if you're a light worker, and if you're going through your spiritual awakening, ascension and evolution journey, you need to be drinking this water, because this allows you to detox and really come back to your light body in all of the ways, mind, body, soul, and ultimately your environment because of how clear this water makes you. So I'm very, very passionate about sharing the water, and then of course I'm also passionate about supporting my tribe merge this business model in with their mission, because it's not just, oh, build a business, oh, freedom, oh, travel, oh, remote work. I mean, if you want it to be, cool, like, no shade. However, it's much bigger than that. It's, okay, let's use this as backbone and infrastructure. It's a 52-year-old company that works. It's a community model. We're all supporting each other. They're phenomenal, tangible products that last 15 to 25 years. Great long-term investment with this lifetime business. Let's come together in community and allow this infrastructure, this backbone, to support us in actualising our mission, our passion, our purpose, the way that we want to live with our families. We all come together, we bring our medicine, we bring our magic. It's as simple as that, just through the simple switch of water. That's it. And If you're like, I don't want to do what you do, don't do what I do. Leverage everything that I've created so you can build and create what you want to build. And we can have conversations about this. This is also a part of my superpower, is being able to see, this could fit in here, we could do this way. And I've created all of the support that you need. I am here for you. Your success is my success. Your happiness is my happiness. So when you're ready and when you want to join me, you know where I am, and now you know exactly where I'm at and what I'm currently processing. And yeah, the better it gets, the better it gets. I'm really happy for all of this, even though it's not been easy, right? It's not been easy at all. It's not been easy, but I signed up for this, otherwise I wouldn't be doing it. So let's fucking go. I love you. Have a great day. Mwah.